Shalom, Kol Halal, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakaha, Kwadash. Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. The 144,000 and the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners among the heathen that look like those heathen. This isn't a black thing. And to the few Akwaf that are listening and learning, you must remember that the Israelites got spread to the four corners of the earth among all people. So they're going to come looking like some of those people. Something that certain groups of people just do not want to acknowledge, as if that is not written in the Bible, and it indeed is. We're going to highlight on another video that was done by Amy Chen. And this here, she relentlessly goes in on Esau, Edom, and we're going to focus on this, her response to Justin Led, all right? And, and I'm going to probably name this video CRT, that's critical race theory, which is really critical race historical facts that they like to deny. But CRT in relation to race innocence culture. And so, they're trying to push this, this race innocent culture, just to hide their white fragility. Which is, I've told you 1,000 times over that whiteness is something that they made up. All right. Whiteness basically was put to paper in 1681 in Virginia. A lot of things started in Virginia. Also in 1682 in Virginia, the Negro and the Native American were intermixed, or referred to as the so-called black slaves and the Native Americans were both called Negroes in Virginia in 1682. All right, when we tell you that there are many of people who are walking around with the label African American on them are actually native to this land, are actually Native Americans. And the racial disparity and separation that it comes to acknowledging that fact as well. All right. Not to say that many of the people that are on the reservations and stuff, they're Native American as well. But what they're not acknowledging is their darker hue of brethren that are also their people, because they were labeled Negroes by census enumerators, all to support this newly found whiteness, which developed into white superiority. So without any further ado, let's play this video of Amy Chen, and then I'm gonna go into the scriptures. So let's get it all ready. And here we go.
Deep down, white supremacists like the Klan and you are fully aware that whiteness in the United States is not something that needs protecting from people of the global majority, much less black people. You are in danger of becoming the minority because you are reaping what you have sown on stolen land with stolen labor, and that you feel comfortable spreading this garbage is what shows that you already know that we who live in the United States spend all the days of our lives living in the infinite grace of black Americans. Because if black Americans possessed one fraction of the cold-bloodedness and the cruelty and the lack of empathy that would motivate them to commit one fraction of the atrocities that people like you have committed, then chattel slavery and Jim Crow could have never been maintained, because they would have shed as much blood to end it as people like you shed starting it. And the fact that didn't happen is not because they are weak. It is not because they are incapable. It is because they are strong and they repeatedly survive with their humanity and their morality intact, and knowing a depth that a person like you will never be able to conceive of. And you resent it, and that's what you are afraid of. So that's why you engage in race to innocence culture, to paint yourself as pure and innocent and in need of protection. But we see through you, and we do not pity your victimhood and your fragility, nor do we fear the seething rage that you try to hide, always bubbling under the surface.
Exactly.
We are just disgusted at your lack of ability to do anything other than project your own racism and lack of humanity.
And that's exactly what they do. All right. So, and we're going to play that again because she said a mouthful, but she also said a lot of things that were opinionated, or opinionated, or very, very carnal on the surface. All right. So-called black people and the natives also went into slavery too. See, they try to make the separation of the African slave trade as if that slave trade didn't include the natives of the Americas, both in the islands, because the slave trade, same chattel slave trade with the same ships that was owned by the same Jewish slave owners, All right. Look up the Abigail and the ship Jesus, and look up Aaron Lopez. All right. There was a triangular slave trade, and it started with the who you would call the Tainos or Puerto Ricans today. All right, they would take Seville, Spain became the reverse slave capital of the world. So what was happening was the ships were going to. They started here and taking the natives back to Europe and to different islands that were under British control. All right, and then they started going to Africa about 100 years later, and snatching up the Israelites that were in Negro land. All right, because remember, Africans were never referred to as Negro. All right, they have old maps from the 1700s. All right, where they actually map out Western Africa and they called it Negro land. So Nigeria, Chad, Senegal, Ghana, all those places. That was all in Negro land. And in Negro land, they had a Fort Judah and a Fort Levi. I wonder why. All right. And so they begin to snatch those people up because the lie that so-called made up white people speak here in America, they say that, well, Africans were selling Africans. No, Africans, Hamites, the sons of Ham, a different dark race of people, were selling Negroes, Israelites, the refugees that came from Jerusalem, from Western Asia, all right, 1,500 years prior, all right, that set up all those colonies, cities, and countries along the Niger River, all right. So, or they will call Niger or Niger today, but we've already proven that it was actually pronounced nigger, which is how they got their names, and that it didn't have the negative connotation that it has now, right? That it was no difference from saying Niger, Niger, Negro, black, all right? It was no difference from saying that. The negative connotation got put on that word during the time of slavery, as you can see on the screen. All right, but with all that said, let's go to the book of Obadiah. This is Obadiah, and I'm going to start at verse 1 and read through like 6. And it reads, "The vision of Obadiah, saith the Lord power, concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, and thou art greatly despised." And that's what's going on. That's what Justin and his race innocence culture is worried about, because they have, and especially with the Amalekites, what's going on over there in Israel, the head of the race, the nation of Edom. All right, they're being called out for what they're doing, and the Edomites in the west did the same thing and way worse than what's being done to the Palestinians. How do you think America got built? All right, it says, "The pride of thine heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high, and saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle," the national symbol for America, this national symbol for all Edomite strongholds around the world countries. Every Edomite country, from Russia to Germany, they all bear the eagle, going back to Mount Seir, which is Petra, the original mountain home, cave home, not the Caucasus Mountains. That's the second cave home. All right, and the images in Mount Seir prove that it's the same people as Alexander of Macedon. All right, they came out of Kittim, which is in Asia. You know, they made up that term Europe, divided Asia up into three parts. They divided Asia up into the Middle East, Europe, and then the rest of Asia. It's all Asia. Okay. "Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh." And that's exactly what happened, because once they went into the heavens, the West has been under deterioration ever since 1969, when they say the eagle have landed, which it never landed on the moon. That's all a lie as well. It was done in the studio. They even got skits and jokes where students are asking the teachers who shot that footage. All right, because it clearly was somebody shooting the whole landing. So, I always made the joke that the news van and the cameraman got there before the astronauts did, and set up so they could record the landing. Retards, right? Then he made a landline call from the movie on a landline phone. I mean, from the moon. Come on, man. And so these people, their history, their whole existence is all based upon lies. It says, if these came to thee as robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen until they had enough? If grape gatherers came to thee, would thou not leave some grapes? Because Esau wants to take everything, more than what he needs. How are the things of Esau searched out, and how are his hidden things sought up? Through the Holy Scriptures and the men of the Lord, the prophets. Amos 3:7 says, the Lord will reveal nothing except he will reveal it to his servants, the prophets. And the prophets are here on earth, bringing clarity to videos and information like Amy is putting out. She talked about how we've all lived in the grace of black people. America would not be. Most of the important ventures that came along during the time of the industrial age of America were made by former slaves. All right? Because, you know, in school, they're going to take you to Edison made the light bulb. No, it was made by Latimer. He was the one that, and there's a whole court case to prove it for anyone who wants to fix their lips to come against it with your dumb ass. All right, there's a whole court case that you can go and look up and research. Is in record. Well, Latimer won the lawsuit against Edison. But when they made the movie, what was it, a couple years back, you know, when they made the movie, and when they show Edison, Nikola Tesla, and the other guy, they were all shown as so-called white people. I mean, and that they invented this. And many other things. You can go and look. This is 100 things that were invented by black people, episode 1. Look at that. So as if, you know, so I'll just let that kind of, you know, in the background. All right, because they give all this credit to these, to Esau, Edom. That's that race innocence culture, that white superiority culture, which is very, very what's the word I'm trying to find when something is being a passive aggressiveness. White superiority is very passive aggressive. You know? And they don't want to acknowledge the truth. America lives comfortably mainly because of suffering of so-called black people. And let's go to Baruch now. To correct Amy, they, you know, it wasn't because they were weak. Clearly, we're the stronger people. This is why we survived it. But the issue is that, and we survived it mainly because of the Lord. Let me correct myself. Because it wasn't for the Esau, Edom did really try to exterminate our people off the face of the earth. They're still doing it through diet now, through food and through medicine. All right, this is Sirach 21. 8 through 9, and it reads, he that buildeth his house with other men's money is like one that gathereth himself stones for the tomb of his burial. The congregation of the wicked is like tow wrapped together, and the end of them is a flame of fire to destroy them. And that's exactly what's going to happen to them for what they did. All right, for this, for not acknowledging that we made their lives easy here, and not acknowledging what they did here in the Americas. All right? For not acknowledging the cruelties, the rape, the robbery, the land theft. All right? That was just done repeatedly over and over and over again. All right? Let's go to Baruch. To the book of Baruch. And this is Baruch 4 and verse 1. And it reads, this is a book of the commandments of God and the law that endure forever. See, the law is never done with. Christianity was given to so-called black people, so-called Hispanics and Native Americans. And Christianity is all based upon and built around white innocence culture, around white superiority. All right. It says, all they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die. So this is how they were able to continually keep and get dominion over us, where they can do to us what was being done on the screen there. All right. It says, turn thee, O Jacob, and take hold of it. Walk in the presence of the light thereof, that thou mayest be illuminated. And see, that's what's happening with the awakening of the Hebrew Israelites. All right, notice I didn't say black, of the Hebrew Israelites, because they're not just black. All right, remember, we're scattered among all people. All right, and when people, and no one's going to call on the name of the Lord, the true name, and do the work of the Lord, and they're not an Israelite. All right, they won't be able to do it. They can't do it. You cannot fake Jake. You can mimic, you can imitate, but you can't fake it. All right, and it says, give not that honor to another, nor the things that are profitable unto thee to a strange nation. O Israel, happy are we, for the things that are pleasing of God are made known to us. Be of good cheer, my people, the memorial of Israel. Ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction. All right? Not for your destruction, but because ye move God to wrath, ye were delivered unto your enemies. For ye provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils and not unto God. And that's why we got into the position that we're in, Amy. That's why they were able to get dominion over us and keep us down. Ye have forgotten the everlasting God and that brought you up, and you have grieved Jerusalem that nursed you. For when she saw the wrath of God coming upon you, she said, hearken, O ye that dwell about the son, about Zion, God have brought upon me a great mourning. And that's exactly what happened. He brought upon us a great mourning because of what we did. Deuteronomy 28, it was prophesied that we would go into slavery. And at the time when our people were told that, more than likely they scoffed it and didn't want to believe it. All right. Deuteronomy 28:68 reads, all right, and that whole Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, from the 16th verse all the way to the 68th, are the curses that the Negro, Latino, and Native American suffered. And and you're able to take these and identify who the Israelites today as a result of it. It tells you that in Deuteronomy 28 and 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of Yahweh thy power to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. And here's one of those that overcame us. All right, all of us. Jeremiah 50:33 said the northern and southern kingdom were in captivity together. All right, so that's how we know that the enslaving of what they call the Indians of Hispaniola. Hispaniola is modern day the island where Haiti and the Dominican Republic are. Right, and those people are brethren, blood. One was conquered by the French and the other was conquered by the Spanish. And now one thinks they're better than the other. But that's all a part of the curses. But anyway, Deuteronomy 28:68, it says, Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. Egypt meaning the house of bondage, into slavery. You see the images of the slave, that's Will Smith, on his knees, tied up with a chain of yoke of iron around his neck. Right, with the dog with the yoke of iron around his neck. Even the beasts were enslaved by these Edomites. Okay, so you'll never see anybody named Hornstein, Rosenberg, Goldsmith with yokes of irons around their neck, because it didn't happen to them. All right, which is as I just read, which is evidence of who the Israelites are. All right, which how you would know. Okay, I'll read it again. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the Lord thy power to keep his commandments. All right. And 46, most importantly, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. You would know, you will be able to know who the Israelites are because of the signs. The yoke of iron and the slavery, and going into slavery on ships into captivity into Egypt again. And it's not a coincidence that there's a pyramid on the back of the American dollar bill, and that you have many cities and places that are named after different places that were in ancient Egypt. even that you have Egyptian obelisk all over America and all its highest places of business and commerce. All right. As a matter of fact, the Washington D.C. area is set up both like ancient Egypt, ancient Rome. You know, after the Edom got in control. Okay, you can't get around it, man. Deuteronomy 28:68, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, and there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Right? Meaning redeem you, shall save you, not buy the English meaning. It's an old Quaker word, all right, and which meant redeemed, to be redeemed. So no one was going to redeem the Israelites from being put in yokes of iron and being sold into slavery again. That didn't happen to the Jewish people. As a matter of fact, when you do your diligent research, they owned the ships. Hence the reason why I call them the victim villains. You know, and they also participate in CRT in its relation to race, innocence, culture by hiding behind anti-Sem. All right, every time you point out their crimes and their role in this whole wicked endeavor that we're speaking about right now. Okay? Let's play Amy one more time. I hate that it does that, boy. I really do.
Don't have kids if you can't get a job that provides health insurance. Other people shouldn't have to pay your bills.
You know, that really aggravates me, man. TikTok needs to really correct that. How you just turn it on, it just starts playing shit, you know? But here we go.
Deep down, white supremacists like the Klan and you are fully aware that whiteness in the United States is not something that needs protecting from people of the global majority, much less black people. You are in danger of becoming the minority because you are reaping what you have sown.
They already are the minority.
With stolen labor, and that you feel comfortable spreading this garbage is what shows that you already know that we who live in the United States spend all the days of our lives living in the infinite grace of black Americans. Because if black Americans possessed one fraction of the cold-bloodedness and the cruelty and the lack of empathy that would motivate them to commit one fraction of the atrocities that people like you have committed, then chattel slavery and Jim Crow could have never been maintained, because they would have shed as much blood to end it as people like you shed starting it. And the fact that didn't happen is not because they are weak. It is not because they are incapable. It is because they are strong and they repeatedly survive with their humanity and their morality intact, and knowing a depth that
it didn't happen because it wasn't part of prophecy. All right, and there was rebellions and there were uprisings, but they all came to an end because it wasn't time. You go look at the the Nat Turner rebellion. There were many more like it, though that was one of the worst ones. And they dismembered him and even ate his body. They literally ate his body. They ate him. All right. And it was rumored that they may have just returned the skull of his head to his family in 2016. There's a rumor behind that. But let's go to because everything that Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, has done is going to come back upon him double. And that's what Justin Laird is really worried about, and all white people worry about, and always have, about a recompense coming. And then there is one, and there's nothing they can do about it because it's sanctioned from the Most High Power. God Himself has set that up to happen, and it will happen in its time. But this is in Nahum 1:9, and it reads, "What do you imagine against Yahweh? He will make an utter end. Affliction shall not raise up a second time." So Esau, Edom is not gonna raise up ever again when they get brought down. Right? When the Israelites finally, do unto them as they were done. Colossians 3:25, Galatians 6:7, Revelation 18:6, right? And Revelation 13:10, when it says that he who leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. All right. And that's the faith and the patience of the saints. The saints are patiently waiting to put into slavery those that put them in slavery. And that is the gospel. Call halal Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Rakaha Kodash, Kwam Yasharala.